We got some great news when Oregon's revenue forecast was released recently. There's more money than projected, so that means Oregonians will get a big kicker tax refund. With me to tell me how it works and why Oregon is so flush with cash now is former Oregon legislator and current state treasurer Tobias Read. Read has also announced that he's thrown his hat into the crowded ring for Oregon governor. Mr. Read, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ken. It's good to see you.
We're still in a pandemic and many of Oregon's businesses were shut down over the past year and a half. So how is it that we're getting possibly the biggest kicker in Oregon history next year?
Well, the kicker is a really interesting format and the way it works around economic forecasts. So the kicker is triggered when receipts exceed projection by more than 2%. And it's really hard to be that precise, especially when we're in unprecedented times like a pandemic. So I think the economists were doing their best to predict. And then the federal government did what I would argue is a pretty smart thing in putting a lot of fiscal resources into economic support, which put our revenue ahead of those projections and triggered the kicker. So a kicker does not necessarily indicate a lot of other things about where the economy is, but it's reason to spend more time understanding what's going on in the underlying causes.
Well, let's dive deeper into that. Does that mean that Oregon's economy is rebounding from the effects of the pandemic?
I think in general terms, that's true. But, economists tend to look at those things in very numerical terms. And on the surface level, there are reasons to be optimistic. But Oregonians experience the economy in their daily lives. And in that sense, I can understand why people are feeling anxious. The pandemic has affected people very differently. If you consider a person who's working in the fields, a farm worker, they can't work remotely. That's a different experience than someone who could have that, or a person who's running a small business in La Grande and had trouble keeping their business open during the pandemic with shutdowns and those sorts of things. The pandemic has exposed a whole lot of vulnerabilities in the way our economy works. And as we think about the recovery, I think we have to recognize that and think about where we want to be in the economy, not just trying to restore what was there before. The economy didn't work for everyone in the way that we want to. So this tale of two economies is real for people when they look at numbers and hear economists talk about them in ways that are positive and say that doesn't reflect the experience I'm having. I think as policymakers, as Oregonians, we have to be willing to recognize that gap and look for solutions that give everyone a chance to succeed going forward.
How much is the kicker this year and how does it work? How do we actually get the money?
So the current projection is about 1.9 billion, and that is it's a direct reflection of what you paid in taxes. It's offered as a credit on next year's taxes, so you will see it when you fill out your next taxes, and that's the simplest way to explain it.
Hey, I like it when I get extra money in my tax return, but wouldn't the state be better served to have that extra revenue put aside for a rainy day or allocated to the general fund for projects that would benefit all Oregonians?
Well, if we're going to make any change to the kicker, it will require a constitutional change. That's where it resides. And so voters would have to weigh in on that. There are definitely people who like the idea of the kicker serving as a check on spending, particularly when it's connected to the most volatile source of revenue that we have. And there are those who make that argument about the utility of more robust reserves. We certainly saw that as the pandemic began, and we were looking closely at what kind of falling revenue we might see and what our reserves were. I can tell you as treasurer that our reserves are also a factor when rating agencies look at our credit rating, and it does affect our cost of capital. So there are real reasons to have that discussion. And I think having reserves definitely is a positive as we think about the things that we're going to need to do when economic disruptions occur.
You succeeded Ted Wheeler as state treasurer, who is now Portland mayor. So it really wasn't a surprise that you announced your intent to return to political office. You're running for governor. Why are you doing this?
I am running because I think we need steady leadership in Oregon to get past the pandemic and start building a better future. We've got to stop lurching from crisis to crisis and lay out the vision that we have for where we want Oregon to be. And I don't think about this just in the next year or 5 years. I'm really focused on where we want to be for the next generation. And I have a really simple way of thinking about this. I want us to measure our progress based on how well our kids are doing. There's way too many kids who are going to sleep hungry or dropping out of school or concluding that there aren't opportunities for them in the rural communities where they've been raised. This is the task for us, I think, in the future, and why we need a governor who is focused in the right direction, and not just on policy, but on the consistent execution, the follow through that is necessary to make sure that government is working for people. And that's the approach that I want to bring to the governor's office.
Last time I checked, there are about 25 people running for governor now. How can you stand out in such a crowded field?
Well, I think it is just exactly that specific experience that I bring. Passing laws is important. I've done that as a legislator, but so is executive experience and serving as treasurer, leading an agency through a challenging time in a way that has delivered for Oregonians, I think does separate me. I want to use the full power of the governor's office to support the large entity that the state is, 45,000 employees, a $25 billion biennial budget. We have to make sure that that's all headed in the same direction, a consistent and steady agenda for making Oregon a better place by focusing on how well kids are doing, by making sure that the government is working and fitting into the crowded and complicated lives that Oregonians lead. I think that is what voters want, and it's what I'm going to offer.
State Treasurer and candidate for governor Tobias Read, thanks for joining me.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, Ken.
Next in this week's Give Me a Minute segment, a Portland retail consultant, community volunteer, and native Portlander wants to know, why can't we clean up this city? Pam Resnick gives her opinion next on Eye on Northwest Politics.